When it comes to Christian ethics, we cannot have the conversation without equating it to love, and specifically the love that is demonstrated to us through Jesus Christ. One of the toughest things I have found is dancing that fine line between showing others love and still clinging to the truth of the Bible. So I want to address that just a little bit. I want to start by sharing a little bit of the book Introducing Christian Ethics by author Scott B. Ray. In this section, he talks about our morality and following Jesus. And he says, the numerous New Testament passages that have the phrase one another in them are prescriptions about how to treat one another, summarizing the mandate to love your neighbor as yourself. And I will read a couple of those. Galatians 5:14 says, for the whole law is fulfilled in one word. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. And another here is Ephesians 4:32, which says, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. And the author goes on to say, the Bible calls believers to adopt a lifestyle that reflects who they are in Christ and to imitate Christ in his character. In fact, the consummate expression of the character of Jesus that people who belong to Christ are called to develop is the fruit of the Spirit. And I'm going to share those with you as well. The fruits of the Spirit. And that comes from Galatians 5:22. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You know, as Christians, we have the highest social responsibility, especially in the culture that we live in now, and the increased tendency for Christians to be called hurtful, hateful, hypocritical. And it is absolutely imperative that we show others love through what we do and what we say. As a Christian, we are absolutely guaranteed to be opposed. We're in opposition. We live in opposition to the world and worldly things, and we need to be prayerful and ready for opposition when it comes. I had a pastor that used to always say, how can we expect a lost person to act any other way than lost? And we're absolutely called to hate sin, but we love the sinner. So while we're clinging to the truth of the Bible in our hearts, we have to remember that in our interactions with people, it is not about being right or demonstrating our rightness to them. It is so much more about demonstrating the love of Christ to them for the purpose of building a relationship with them so that we can ultimately lead them to salvation through Jesus. We first have to show them who Jesus is in us. Of course, when you're having really tough conversations, it can be really hard, and we have tendencies to be angry and to be frustrated when someone's viewpoint opposes us. But those are fleshly feelings, the anger and the frustration. Let's try to demonstrate those fruits of the Spirit, the patience and the self-control, and show them Jesus in that way with our understanding and our patience. And you have to remember too that it's not up to you alone. It's up to God. God can work in people's hearts, and he can do that when we let him shine through us. So when it comes to dancing on that fine line between loving and telling the truth, I would suggest to err on the side of showing love, because if you don't first show that love, you may never have the opportunity to share the truth.